I will never forget that afternoon. In the airport VIP lounge, Jason tore our engagement contract into pieces in front of everyone. "Stella, our engagement ends here." His voice was as cold as ice, and he was holding hands with his first love, Sophia, who had just returned from abroad. The surrounding elites and wealthy individuals were watching the scene, their whispers flooding in like a tide. Jason actually broke off the engagement in public. Stella must be so embarrassed now. Isn't that Sophia, Jason's first love? I stood there, looking at the contract fragments scattered on the floor, and suddenly laughed. 20 years of childhood friendship, 5 years of engagement, all torn apart by his own hands. "Jason, are you sure you want to do this?" My voice was calm. He frowned, seemingly surprised by my composure. "Stella, I know you'll be angry, but Sophia. What about her?" I interrupted, "Because she came back, you have to abandon me?" Sophia leaned delicately against Jason, her eyes red. "Sister Stella, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I didn't expect Jason was still waiting for me." "Waiting for you?" I sneered. "Jason, tell me, have you been waiting for her all these 5 years?" Jason's face turned ugly. "Stella, don't make a scene. I've done my best for you, and I've helped the Han family business a lot." "Done your best?" My heart felt like it was being torn apart. So, in his eyes, our relationship was just his charity. "Miss Stella." A deep voice came from behind me. I turned around and saw a man in a black suit. Lucas. Jason's archenemy, the president of the Shen Group. He walked up to me, his gaze as cold as ice. "I have a cooperation I'd like to discuss with you." Jason's face changed instantly. "Lucas, what do you want?" Lucas glanced at him indifferently. "Didn't Jason say he wants to break off the engagement with Miss Stella? Then she is free now." He turned to me, his voice carrying a hint of tenderness. "Miss Stella, would you give me a chance?" The VIP lounge fell silent instantly. Everyone was waiting for my answer. I looked at Jason's ugly expression and then at Sophia's panicked face, suddenly finding it amusing. "Sure." I smiled. "Lucas, shall we find a place to talk in detail?" Lucas nodded slightly and extended his arm. "It's my honor." I took his arm, and as we passed Jason, I whispered, "Jason, thank you for letting me see what true feelings are and what false intentions are." The moment I walked out of the VIP lounge, I heard Jason calling my name from behind. But I didn't look back. Because I knew that some paths, once taken, can never be retraced. Lucas took me to a cafe near the airport. The environment was quiet, suitable for conversation. "Miss Stella, I think I need to apologize first." Lucas got straight to the point. "What happened in the VIP lounge earlier, I did it on purpose." I was a bit surprised. "On purpose?" I know Jason well, he is selfish and hypocritical. Lucas's voice was cold. 5 years ago, when Sophia went abroad, he should have broken off the engagement with you, not dragged it until now. I smiled bitterly. "So you came to see me make a fool of myself?" "No." Lucas shook his head. "I came to give you an opportunity." "What opportunity?" "Marry me." My coffee cup almost slipped from my hand. "Lucas, are you joking?" "I never joke." His gaze was serious. "Miss Stella, we can use each other. You need a status to prove yourself, and I need a wife to stabilize my equity." I was silent for a long time. Indeed, the Han family had risen in status in the business world over the years due to the Shao family. Without the Shao family's support, the Han family might collapse. But Lucas was different. He was the sole heir of the Shen Group, with a fortune even greater than the Shao family. "Why do you want to help me?" I asked. "Because I hate Jason." Lucas's answer was direct. "Seeing him unhappy makes me happy." I couldn't help but laugh. "That's a very real reason." "So, what's your answer?" I looked at him. This man was handsome, with deep features and sharp eyes. Although rumored to be cold and ruthless, at least he was more honest than Jason. "I can consider it," I said, "but I have a few conditions." "Go ahead." "First, this is just a business marriage, no emotions involved." Agreed. Second, we maintain our independence, you can't interfere with my private life. Okay. Third, if one day we both find true love, we can divorce at any time. Lucas was silent for a few seconds. I can't agree to the third one. Why? Because I don't believe in true love. His voice was somewhat mocking. Miss Stella, aren't you and Jason the best example? I was stunned, not knowing what to say. Indeed, I once thought Jason was my true love, but what happened? Alright, then just the first two. I said, when do we get married? The sooner, the better. Lucas stood up. I'll have my secretary send you the contract tomorrow. If there are no issues, we can get the certificate next week. I also stood up. Lucas, I hope you remember what you said today. I will. He extended his hand. Pleasure to cooperate, future Mrs. Lucas. I shook his hand. Pleasure to cooperate, future husband. Just then, my phone rang. It was Jason calling. I glanced at Lucas and pressed the answer button. Stella, where are you? We need to talk. Jason's voice was somewhat anxious. There's nothing to talk about, Jason. My voice was calm. Haven't you already made your choice? Stella, I hung up directly. Lucas raised an eyebrow. Looks like Jason is getting anxious. That's his problem. I put away my phone. Let's go. When we walked out of the cafe, I saw Jason's car parked right at the entrance. He got out and quickly walked towards us. Stella, come back with me, let's talk properly. I still have things to discuss with Miss Stella. Lucas stepped in front of me. Jason, please don't disturb us. Jason's face was very ugly. Lucas, this is between Stella and me, you don't need to interfere. But earlier at the airport, didn't you say you wanted to break off the engagement with Miss Stella? Lucas sneered. Since it's broken off, she is free, and I have the right to pursue her. Jason looked at me. Stella, tell him that our relationship isn't that simple. I looked at him, my heart suddenly cold. Jason, what do you think our relationship is? He opened his mouth but couldn't say anything. Because we truly had no relationship left. I understand. I smiled, took Lucas's arm. Lucas, let's go. The next morning, Lucas's secretary delivered the prenuptial agreement to the Hahn family. The agreement was detailed, including property division, living arrangements, and various other terms. I read it carefully. There were no issues. Just as I was about to sign, my father Henry walked in. Stella, are you really going to marry Lucas? Henry's face was grave. Yes, Dad. I put down the pen. Is there a problem? Lucas is not a simple man, his methods in the business world are ruthless. Henry sat opposite me, and he is the archenemy of the Shao family. Marrying him means completely breaking ties with the Shao family. Dad, Jason has already broken off the engagement with me. My voice was calm. We have no relationship with the Shao family anymore. But. No buts. I interrupted him. Dad, I've thought it through. Instead of being humiliated by Jason, it's better to take the initiative. Henry was silent for a long time, finally sighing. Since you've decided, I support you. But Stella, be careful with Lucas, he's not a kind person. I know. I picked up the pen and signed my name on the agreement. Just then, the servant came in to report, Miss, Jason is here, he wants to see you. I frowned. Tell him I'm not here. But he said he won't leave until he sees you. Henry stood up. I'll go see him. No need. I also stood up. I'll see him and make things clear. In the living room, Jason was pacing anxiously. When he saw me coming down, he immediately came over. Stella, you finally came out. His eyes were complicated. Let's talk. What is there to talk about? I sat on the sofa, my tone cold. Stella, I admit I was wrong yesterday. Jason sat opposite me, but you being with Lucas is too impulsive. Impulsive? I sneered. Jason, you tore up our engagement contract in front of so many people. Who was being impulsive? Jason's face turned ugly. That was because of Sophia. What about her? As soon as she came back, you couldn't wait to break up with me? My voice grew colder. Jason, do you know I've waited for you for 5 years? I know, but... No buts. I stood up. Jason, we're over, completely over. Stella, you can't marry Lucas. Jason also stood up. He's a dangerous man, he will use you. So what? I looked at him, at least he's more honest than you. Jason was rendered speechless by my words. Moreover, I took out the signed agreement from my bag. I've already signed the prenuptial agreement, and we'll get the certificate next week. Jason saw the agreement, his face turning pale instantly. Stella, are you crazy? Yes, I'm crazy. I smiled, driven crazy by you. Just then, Lucas walked in. He was wearing a black suit, exuding a strong presence. Miss Stella, is the agreement signed? His voice was gentle. It's signed. I handed him the agreement. Lucas took it, glanced at it, then turned to Jason. Why is Jason here? Lucas, let go of Stella. Jason said angrily, she's been bewitched by you. Bewitched? Lucas sneered. Jason, do you think Miss Stella is a 3-year-old child? Lucas, I warn you, don't have any ideas about Stella. But as far as I know, your engagement has been broken off. Lucas walked to my side. Now Miss Stella is free, she has the right to choose her own future. Jason looked at me. Stella, do you really want to choose him? I looked at Jason, my heart mixed with emotions. This man, whom I loved for 20 years, ended up betraying and humiliating me. Yes. My voice was firm. I choose him. Jason's face became even uglier. Stella, you will regret it. With that, he turned and left. Lucas watched Jason's back, a cold smile on his lips. It seems Jason is very unwilling. Whether he's willing or not doesn't matter. I said, I just want to live my life well. Then, future missus, are you ready to face the storm with me? I looked at Lucas, this man with deep eyes, hard to read. But for some reason, I felt safe with him. I'm ready. I said. A week later, Lucas and I got our marriage certificate quietly. No wedding, no guests, just the two of us at the Civil Affairs Bureau. When we walked out, I looked at the red book in my hand, feeling unreal. Mrs. Lucas, any thoughts? Lucas asked me. It feels strange. I said honestly, like a dream. You'll get used to it. Lucas opened the car door for me. Shall we have dinner tonight to celebrate? Sure. Lucas chose a very private Western restaurant. The environment was nice, and there weren't many guests, perfect for conversation. Lucas, I have a question for you. I cut my steak. Why did you marry me? I said, because I hate Jason. Just that simple? Lucas put down his cutlery, looking at me. Stella, do you think there's another reason? I thought for a moment. Maybe you think I have value to be used? Smart. Lucas smiled. Although the Han family is not as powerful as the Shao family, it still has influence in certain industries. And you, I think you're good. What do you mean? You're calm and rational. Lucas said, not like other women who are emotional. I smiled bitterly. That's because I've been hurt too deeply. That's even better. Lucas's voice was somewhat cold. Only those who have been hurt know what reality is. I looked at him, suddenly feeling that this man was very lonely. Lucas, have you ever truly loved someone? His eyes darkened. Yes. What happened later? She died. Lucas's voice was calm, but I could feel his inner pain. I was stunned, not expecting him to tell me so directly. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. It's okay. Lucas took a sip of red wine. It's all in the past. We were silent for a while. Suddenly, Lucas's phone rang. He looked at it, his brows furrowing. What's wrong? I asked. Jason. Lucas showed me his phone. The screen displayed a message. Lucas, let's meet and talk about Stella. I sneered. He's really persistent. Do you want to meet? Lucas asked me. Yes. I said, I want to see what he has to say. Half an hour later, Jason appeared at the restaurant. His face was very ugly, looking at us with complicated eyes. Lucas, I want to talk to Stella alone. Sorry, we are husband and wife, no secrets. Lucas refused directly. Jason's face became even uglier. Lucas, don't go too far. I'm going too far? Lucas sneered. Jason, when you tore up the engagement contract in public, why didn't you say it was too far? Jason looked at me. Stella, come out with me, I have something to say to you. I shook my head. Jason, there's nothing left to say between us. There is. Jason suddenly became agitated. Stella, do you know why Lucas married you? He wants to use you to deal with the Shao family. I know. My answer was calm. Jason was stunned. You know? I've known from the beginning. I looked at him. Jason, do you think I'm stupid? Then you still married him? Why not? I countered. At least he didn't deceive me, didn't betray me. Jason was speechless. Moreover, I continued, even if he uses me, so what? I'm also using him. Jason's face became even uglier. Stella, you've changed. Yes, I've changed. I smiled, forced to change by you. Lucas watched the show from the side, occasionally adding a remark. Jason, don't waste your effort. Miss Stella is now my wife, it's not your turn to worry. Jason looked at Lucas angrily. Lucas, I won't let you succeed. Then I'll wait and see. Lucas was very calm. Jason looked at me again. Stella, if one day you regret it, remember to come find me. With that, he turned and left. Looking at Jason's back, my heart was mixed with emotions. Do you regret it? Lucas asked me. No regrets. I shook my head. I was just thinking, if only he had cared about me like this back then, maybe we wouldn't have come to this point today. Unfortunately, there are no ifs. Lucas said, Stella, remember our agreement, don't develop feelings for me. I looked at him, this man always so calm, so rational. Don't worry, I won't. I said. But I didn't know that some things don't happen just because you say they won't. Life after marriage was calmer than I imagined. Lucas arranged a separate room for me, and we kept our distance. He left early and returned late, and I had my own work to do. Occasionally meeting at home, we just greeted each other politely. I was satisfied with this life, no quarrels, no entanglements. But peace is always broken. That evening, I was reading in the living room when Lucas came back. His face was not good, holding a document in his hand. What's wrong? I asked. The Shao family has started to act. Lucas handed me the document. They want to acquire the Han family's shares. I looked at the document, my heart sinking. The Shao family is indeed very wealthy, and if they really want to acquire the Han family, my father would have a hard time resisting. What are their terms? I asked. Very tempting. Lucas sat opposite me, 30% higher than the market price. I was silent. I knew the Han family hadn't been doing well in recent years, and with such good terms, my father might agree. Do you think my father will agree? Possibly. Lucas said, after all, it's a good opportunity. Then what do we do? It depends on your choice. Lucas looked at me. If you don't want the Han family to be acquired by the Shao family, I can help you. What's the cost? No cost. Lucas's answer surprised me. We are husband and wife, it's my duty to help you. I looked at him, feeling touched. Although our marriage was a business alliance, Lucas was indeed protecting me. Thank you. I said. No need to thank me. Lucas stood up. I'll call your father and arrange a meeting. Just then, my phone rang. It was my father calling. Stella, the Shao family approached me about the acquisition. Henry's voice was tired. Do you think I should agree? Dad, do you want to agree? It would be a lie to say I don't. Henry sighed. The company has been struggling these years, and if I can sell it at a good price, it would secure something for you. My heart ached. I knew that much of the Han family's difficulties over the years were because of me. If it weren't for my engagement with Jason, the Han family wouldn't be in this situation today. Dad, think about it for a few more days. I said, I'll discuss it with Lucas. Okay. Henry said, Stella, whatever decision you make, Dad supports you. After hanging up, I looked at Lucas. You heard it all? Yes. Lucas nodded. Uncle Henry is indeed in a difficult position. Lucas, I want to ask you a question. I looked at him. If one day the Han family really goes bankrupt, will you regret marrying me? Lucas was silent for a few seconds, then said, Stella, do you think I'm that kind of snob? No, No justs. Lucas interrupted me. I married you not because the Han family is wealthy, but because of you as a person. I looked at him, suddenly feeling warm inside. Then let's go see my father. I said, I want him to know he's not fighting alone. The next day, we went to the Han family. Henry saw Lucas and greeted him politely. Lucas, thank you for taking care of Stella. Henry said. It's my duty. Lucas said, Uncle Henry, regarding the Shao family's acquisition, I have a proposal. What proposal? Let the Shen Group invest in the Han family. Lucas was direct, I'll invest 51%, but the management rights remain with you. Henry was stunned. How can this be? Why not? Lucas said, we are family, it's normal to help each other. I was also surprised, not expecting Lucas to make such a suggestion. But this way, your investment risk is too high. Henry said worriedly. It's okay. Lucas smiled, I believe in Uncle Henry's management abilities. Henry looked at me, Stella, what do you think? I looked at Lucas, feeling very touched. I agree. I said, Dad, Lucas is right, we are family. Henry's eyes reddened, then I won't be polite. Uncle Henry, don't say that. Lucas stood up, I'll have my secretary prepare the contract, and we can sign it tomorrow. Just then, the servant came in to report, Sir, Jason is here. Lucas and I exchanged glances. Let him in. Henry said. Jason walked into the living room, his face very ugly when he saw Lucas was there too. Uncle Henry. Jason greeted politely, then looked at Lucas and me, I didn't expect you to be here too. What's the matter? Henry asked. I'm here to discuss the acquisition. Jason glanced at Lucas, but since Lucas is here, we can talk together. There's nothing to discuss. Lucas was cold, the Han family already has a new partner. Jason's face changed, what do you mean? The Shen Group is going to invest in the Han family. I said directly. Jason looked at me in disbelief, Stella, are you crazy? You're letting Lucas control the Han family? It's not control, it's cooperation. I corrected him. You're too naive. Jason said, Lucas just wants to use the Han family to deal with the Shao family. So what? I sneered, Jason, what right do you have to interfere in our family's affairs? Jason was speechless. Lucas watched from the side, occasionally adding, Jason, isn't your Shao family very rich? Why do you want to acquire a small company like the Han family? I'm doing this for Stella's good. Jason said. For my good? I stood up, Jason, when you tore up our engagement contract in public, why didn't you say it was for my good? Jason's face became very ugly, Stella, I admit I was wrong at that time, but... No buts. I interrupted him, Jason, our family's affairs are none of your business. Jason looked at me, his eyes complicated, Stella, you've really changed. Yes, I've changed. I didn't avoid it, I'm no longer the Stella who would give up everything for you. Jason was silent for a long time, finally looking at Henry, Uncle Henry, are you really going to cooperate with the Shen family? Henry nodded, yes, I think it's a good opportunity. Jason's face became even uglier, he looked at me deeply, then turned and left. At the door, he suddenly turned back, Stella, I won't give up. Looking at Jason's back, my heart was mixed with emotions. This man, why does he only know to cherish after losing? Don't think too much. Lucas whispered in my ear, some people are like that, always restless about what they can't have. I turned to look at him, suddenly feeling that this man was really smart, seeing through everything. Lucas. I said, thank you. I said, no need to thank me. Lucas smiled, we are husband and wife. At that moment, I suddenly felt that maybe being with Lucas was indeed a good choice. Jason obviously wouldn't give up just like that. In the following days, he tried every means to see me. Sometimes waiting for me downstairs at the company, sometimes going directly to the Han family to find me. But I refused to see him. I had already made it clear that there was no possibility between us. That evening, Lucas and I attended a business cocktail party together. It was the first time we appeared as a couple in a formal setting after marriage. Lucas was very gentlemanly, staying by my side the whole time, introducing me to various business friends. Mrs. Lucas is very beautiful. Someone complimented me. Thank you. I smiled politely. Lucas is really lucky. Someone else flattered Lucas. Lucas smiled faintly, his hand naturally around my waist. This action made me a bit nervous, but I didn't push him away. After all, we were now husband and wife, such intimate actions were normal. Halfway through the cocktail party, Jason appeared. He was wearing a black suit, with Sophia by his side. When he saw us, Sophia's face looked a bit bad. Jason walked straight towards us. Lucas, Stella. He greeted politely. Jason. Lucas was cold. I didn't speak, just nodded. Stella, you look beautiful today. Jason looked at me, his eyes complicated. Thank you. My response was brief. Sophia said sourly from the side, Sister Stella and Lucas really match each other. I glanced at her, ignoring her. Lucas. Jason suddenly said, I want to talk to you alone. There's nothing to talk about. Lucas refused. About the Han family. Jason insisted. Lucas looked at me, and I nodded. All right. Lucas said, but not for long. They went aside to talk, leaving me standing there alone. Sophia came over, smiling fakely, Sister Stella, congratulations on finding a new home. Thank you. I didn't want to say much to her. But, Sophia's tone suddenly became sharp, do you think Lucas really loves you? I looked at her, this woman's eyes full of malice. That's my business. I said coldly. I heard that your marriage is just a business alliance. Sophia continued, Lucas married you just to use the Han family against the Shao family. So what? I countered, at least he didn't betray me. Sophia was annoyed by my words, Stella, don't be too smug. Jason was just temporarily confused, one day he will come back to me. That's your business. I said indifferently, it has nothing to do with me. You. Sophia wanted to say something, but was interrupted. Sophia, who are you talking to? Jason and Lucas came back. Jason frowned at Sophia's expression. I was chatting with Sister Stella. Sophia resumed her gentle smile. Jason looked at me, his eyes somewhat worried, she didn't make things difficult for you, did she? I was a bit surprised that Jason would care about this. No. I said. Jason breathed a sigh of relief, then said to Sophia, Sophia, we should go. Sophia was reluctant but still left with Jason. What did they say? I asked Lucas. Jason wants me to leave you. Lucas was direct, he said he's willing to give me any compensation. My heart was complicated, what did you say? I said I don't need compensation. Lucas looked at me, because I've already got the best. I was stunned, my heart racing. Lucas, you. Don't overthink it. Lucas interrupted me, I was just acting for Jason. My mood suddenly dropped. Yes, we were just acting. But for some reason, I wished what he said was true. After the cocktail party, we returned home. I sat in the living room, feeling restless. What are you thinking about? Lucas asked me. Thinking about our relationship. I said honestly. What do you mean? Lucas, do you think it's possible for us to develop real feelings? I looked at him. Lucas was silent for a long time. Stella, we agreed not to talk about feelings. I know, I'm just curious. Don't be curious. Lucas's voice was somewhat cold. Feelings only bring pain. I looked at him, suddenly feeling that this man was very lonely. Lucas, do you really not believe in love? I don't. His answer was firm. I didn't ask further. Because I knew some pains are not meant to be touched. But I didn't know that from this moment, my feelings for Lucas had quietly changed. Days passed, and my relationship with Lucas seemed harmonious. We had breakfast together, attended various events together, and to outsiders, we were a loving couple. But only I knew there was always a wall between us. Lucas was very gentlemanly and took care of me, but he never took the initiative to get close to me. Sometimes I felt he was like a perfect roommate, not a husband. That afternoon, while I was handling work at the company, my assistant told me Jason came again. Stella, he says he has something important to discuss with you. I frowned. Jason had been coming to see me frequently lately, seriously affecting my work. Let him in. I said, but only give him 10 minutes. Jason walked into my office, looking haggard. Stella, thank you for seeing me. Speak quickly. I looked at my watch. I'm busy. Jason sat opposite me. Stella, I want to tell you a secret. What secret? Lucas married you really just to use you. Jason's voice was serious. I have evidence. I sneered. Jason, you've said this many times, I don't want to hear it again. This time it's different. Jason took out a document from his bag. Look at this. I took the document, glanced at it, and my face changed instantly. It was an internal meeting record of the Shen Group. It clearly stated, through marriage, gain the Han family's support to comprehensively attack the Shao Group. Where did this document come from? I asked. That's not important. Jason looked at me. What's important is that Lucas has been using you from the beginning. I looked at the document, my heart mixed with emotions. Although I knew our marriage was based on mutual use, seeing the evidence in black and white still made me feel bad. Jason, what do you want to say? I asked. I want to say, Stella, come back to me. Jason's eyes were sincere. I've broken up with Sophia. I was stunned. What? I broke up with her. Jason repeated, I realized that the one I truly love is you. I looked at Jason, my heart complicated. If it were 3 months ago, I would have been happy to hear this. But now, I only felt it was ironic. Jason, do you think I'll believe you? I sneered, you tore up our engagement for Sophia, and now you say you love me, do you think I'm a fool? Stella, I know you don't believe me, but I'm serious. Jason stood up, I can prove it to you. How? Let's start over. Jason walked up to me. Stella, leave Lucas, marry me. I looked at Jason, this man I once loved desperately. It's too late. I shook my head. Jason, it's impossible for us. Why? Jason asked urgently, because of Lucas? He doesn't love you at all. So what? I stood up. Jason, even if Lucas doesn't love me, I won't go back to you. Why? Because I don't love you anymore. I said calmly. Jason was struck as if by lightning, his face turning pale. What did you say? I said, I don't love you anymore. I repeated, Jason, my feelings for you died the moment you tore up the engagement contract. Jason slumped into the chair, his eyes empty. Impossible, Stella, you loved me for 20 years, how can you say you don't love me anymore? Because you killed my love for you with your own hands. I looked at him. Jason, do you know how desperate I was at that time? Jason's eyes reddened. Stella, I'm sorry, I really know I was wrong. Apologies are useless. I shook my head. Jason, some hurts are irreparable. What about Lucas? Jason suddenly asked, do you love him? I was taken aback. It would be a lie to say I didn't. In these few months of living together, I had indeed developed feelings for Lucas. But I couldn't say it. That's my business, I said. Jason looked at my expression and suddenly understood something. You've fallen in love with him. Jason smiled bitterly. Stella, you've really fallen in love with Lucas. I didn't deny or admit it. Jason stood up, looking at me with painful eyes. Stella, I won't give up. He said, even if you don't love me now, I will win you back. Jason, you're crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. Jason's eyes became dangerous. If I can't have you, no one else will. With that, he turned and left. Looking at Jason's back, I suddenly had a bad feeling. That night when I got home, I gave the document Jason gave me to Lucas. What is this? Lucas asked. See for yourself. Lucas looked at the document, his brows furrowing. Jason gave it to you? Yes. I nodded. Lucas, is this true? Lucas was silent for a long time, then nodded. It's true. My heart suddenly turned cold. Although I knew it, hearing him admit it still made me feel bad. Stella, I told you from the beginning that we are just using each other. Lucas's voice was calm. I know. I tried to make my voice sound normal, I just wanted to confirm. Now that you've confirmed, what do you think? I looked at Lucas, this man still calm, showing no emotions. No thoughts. I said, our agreement was like this from the start, wasn't it? Lucas looked at me, his eyes somewhat complicated. Stella, you've changed. What do you mean? You used to not be so calm. Lucas said, if it were before, you would have been angry, questioned me. I smiled bitterly, that's because I've learned to protect myself. Lucas was silent. We looked at each other, the atmosphere a bit awkward. Finally, I spoke first. Lucas, I'm a bit tired, I'll go rest first. Okay. I turned to go upstairs, but heard Lucas say from behind, Stella, if one day you want to leave, I won't stop you. I stopped, without turning back. I know. I said, then went back to my room. The moment I closed the door, I couldn't hold back my tears. I knew I was foolish, it was clearly a relationship of mutual use, why did I still develop true feelings? But feelings are something you can't control just by saying so. What I didn't know was that in the living room downstairs, Lucas was also troubled by the same issue. The next morning, when I got up, I found Lucas had already left. He left a note on the dining table, have an urgent business trip, might be back in a few days. Looking at the note, my heart felt empty. Maybe this is good, we both need time to calm down. In the afternoon, my assistant told me a piece of news. Jason announced at a press conference that he wants to pursue me again. I looked at the news, hardly believing my eyes. In the news, Jason said affectionately to the camera, Stella is the woman I love most in my life, I won't give up on her. Even if she's married to someone else now, I will win her back. Reporters frantically asked various questions, and Jason answered them one by one. He even admitted that tearing up the engagement was his fault and now he wants to make amends. My phone kept ringing, all reporters wanting to interview me. I turned off my phone, feeling extremely irritable. Jason's actions had pushed me into the spotlight. Now everyone was paying attention to this rich family love triangle story. That night, Lucas suddenly came back. His face was very ugly, and as soon as he entered, he asked me, did you see the news? Yes. I nodded. What do you think? I don't know. I said honestly, Jason is crazy. Lucas walked up to me and suddenly held my hand. Stella, I have a question for you, and you must answer honestly. What question? Do you still love Jason? I looked into Lucas's eyes and said very seriously, I don't love him anymore. Then who do you love? I was stunned, my heart suddenly racing. Lucas waited for my answer, his gaze focused. I opened my mouth but couldn't speak. Because I knew that once I said it, our relationship could never go back. Stella, answer me. Lucas's voice was soft but firm. I looked at him and made a decision in my heart. I love you. I said, Lucas, I've fallen in love with you. Lucas was stunned, then suddenly smiled. It was the first time I saw such a bright smile on his face. Fool. He said, then kissed me. At that moment, I felt the whole world light up. It turns out that some feelings are mutual. It turns out that Lucas also loves me. From this moment on, we were no longer just a couple in a business marriage, but truly in love. As for Jason, let him make a fuss. I had already found my true happiness.